Welcome to episode 60 of Pera's Playbook. Today I'm joined by a guy I've known for a long time. We grew up going to church together, went to middle school, high school together. We graduated together. He played 4 years of college basketball at Northland, 80 games, 30 starts, averaging 7.4 points per game. Also, 3 years on the golf team. George Butvilas, ladies and gentlemen. George, thanks for hopping on the pod. What's going on?
Yeah, no problem. Thanks for having me. I've been watching
Yeah.
watching some of your pods before and excited to be here. So
Yeah, it's a goal of mine to get a bunch of people that like we graduated with or
yeah.
people from
hmm
our area,
Yeah.
Upers on the pod. So you're
Yeah, that's pretty
hopefully
sweet.
one of many that'll
hmm
come on. So what was your recruiting like? I mean, obviously Houghton's not a hotbed for like awesome
Yeah.
basketball overall.
Um it's a good question. I feel like it's been so long now. Yeah, I think someone asked me that the other day too, and I was like, I can't really remember. But so going into my senior year, I never really played basketball in the spring, as in like AAU basketball. So going into my senior year, I guess the spring of my junior year, I joined a team that's based out of Gladstone. Um, I guess, and it was tough though because we had to go to Gladstone like 2 nights a week for practice, and that's from Houghton's like close to 3 hours. I can't remember how long it is. But yeah, I joined a team in the spring of my junior year and played with them and then played in the summer, and then that's when I started getting looks from these schools, and that's when I guess I met my eventual head coach. First time he saw me play was Minneapolis, I think. So then that kind of happened, and then they were kind of on me the most, and then I had some texts from other small schools as well, and then I also did this thing called NCSA. I don't know if you had anybody in the pod that's done that before. It's like basically this recruiting service where you have like this profile and like has all your information and like you put your highlights on it and stuff, and coaches will go on the site, and that's where they can like text recruits and recruit people, I guess. So I got a couple looks from there, but like once I the season started, like their assistant coach, who is the head coach now, Coach Schreiner, he was at a lot of my games, and it kind of just took off from there. I went on 2 visits, I think, and I really liked the place. I guess I really liked the place as in it was really close to home, and like I knew I wanted to play after high school, and I didn't really want to go far, but I was okay with moving away for a little bit, and I felt like this was perfect because, like, at the end of the day, if something goes on at home, that I can go back. It's like it's only 2.5 hours, so I felt like this was really, really a perfect place for me to go. So
Yeah, and there's not a lot of options for basketball
no,
close to
no,
home.
yeah,
I mean,
especially
at
when
the
you live
time,
live
you
in
had
the living.
Finlandia,
Yeah.
but they're gone,
hmm
so you got Tech and Northern and
Yeah.
then Bay College and Gogebic, but that's,
hmm
whatever junior college or
Yeah.
whatever.
hmm
So, I mean, there's not a whole lot of options for the UP for people who want to play sports and
Yeah.
not move too far away. So year one, let's start with your first game. I mean, I'm assuming you had some jitters, first college game, a little nervous. Did you know if you were going to get playing time like beforehand? Did coach tell you like, hey, you're going to get a little bit of time, you're going to,
Yeah, just going through practice, I remember that I was gonna play a little bit. I know I didn't start my first game. I know my good buddy who's still there, Jordan Brennan. He started. I know he played, but I remember I knew I was gonna get some time, and it was just like, yeah, it's pretty nerve-wracking. I mean, I'm not really good with the nerves. I've had that my whole career, even through high school. Like I was pretty nervous, but like in high school, like that like okay, I'm gonna play pretty much the whole game. Uh, I mean, like, and they're gonna look at me to do a lot of the stuff out there, but like now it was just like I can't believe I'm actually out there playing right now. So I got out there. I remember checking in and being like really nervous, and then I remember I think I hit a three earlier in my first shot, and then I was like, all right, maybe this is not too bad. I remember I scored 7 points in the first half, and I was like, okay. Then my coach was like, okay, you're starting the second half, and we played a really good team. I think it was McAllister, and they're normally pretty good in the MIAC. And then it kind of just went downhill from there. I just didn't play really well in the second half, but started off well. I know, I remember that, but I do remember just being stupid nervous. But
Yeah, sometimes you just need that first shot to calm
yeah,
the
yeah, it's
nerves.
always good when the first one goes in. I'll put that out there. Always good.
Yeah, just remind you that it's basketball. Even
Yeah,
if it's higher level, it's still
yeah.
basketball.
Mm-hmm.
So you guys had some pretty cool opportunities getting to do some
Mm-hmm.
exhibitions against some D1 schools, North
Yeah,
Dakota,
yeah.
North Dakota State.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, going into those, that had to be pretty exciting. I mean, those are,
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
didn't
It
North Dakota
was.
State the year before you guys played them and they were in the tourney or?
Yeah, that's when they played Duke and almost beat Duke, and like a
Yeah.
lot of their players stayed too. So it was pretty sweet.
Yeah. I mean, what was that like, that whole just experience getting to play against guys that caliber talent and
Yeah, it was like I said just now that like the year before they played Duke in the tournament, and like that's with like Zion, RJ Barrett, like Cam Reddish, like all these guys who are in the NBA right now. Um, and then I knew so our first, I think it was our first D1 game or our second, but we played North Dakota as well, so that was a big game too. But like you go in there and like you like all the stuff you see on TV, like the commercial timeouts, like that's actually what happens. Like they have a timeout every 6 minutes, I think. I can't remember what it is, but like and like they do stuff like on the half, like I don't know, it's pretty sweet. And like the jumbotron, like they shut off all the lights during player introductions, and the jumbotron has videos playing and stuff, and I just remember that North Dakota State game. I remember that there was actually kind of a bigger crowd there. So like when North Dakota State was playing well and playing better than us, the crowd would actually get into it, and like their announcer would get into it, and like it was pretty sweet. And I just like and then like seeing guys play on the floor. I can't remember what the point guard's name was, but he's from Minnesota. And De La Salle. I can't remember his name, but he was really good, like 5'10", and like he like scored 20 points for Duke the year before. So we were like, oh my gosh. And I remember uh he was getting guarded by one of the quicker guys on our team. Like this kid always had like the most amount of energy, like always like all up in your grill on defense. And when I say like he took three, like he was top of the key, he took three big dribbles and like kind of shook him and like did a little behind the back, like quickest I've ever seen. And like with the kids, I thought the kid was pretty quick, but not compared to this kid. And rose up and just bottom of the net, and I was like, it's D1 basketball right there.
yeah,
Yeah, I
different
don't know, it
league.
was just sweet. And then so we played North Dakota State my freshman year. COVID happened sophomore year. Junior year, we played St. Thomas and North Dakota State again, and St. Thomas was actually pretty legit. I think it was our first year of D1 when we played them, and we were down. Like, they scored put 70 up on us in the first half. Like it was, they weren't like joke like they're. You'd think they'd be like bad, or I guess like worse transitioning into D1. Like they're not going to fit in well, but they fit right in. And then we played North Dakota State again my junior year, and they had a kid named Grant Nelson, and like the guy who's in the NBA now, Victor Wembanyama, like
Yeah.
how like there's guys like looking up at him because he's so tall. Like that's how this kid was, and like he's like 7 feet six. I don't know how tall he is, but like I remember being right by him and literally going like this. I was like, wow. And it's crazy because like he was unreal last year for them, and he was going to go in the draft, but then decided not to, and now he's at Alabama playing in the SEC. Like it's just crazy how like you literally playing against like even at like a mid-major North Dakota State, like there's guys on there that you're like, wow. There's just so many moments when we played those teams. You're like, wow, that's crazy. This is some of the dunks. It's pretty cool.
Yeah. I was gonna bring that up, the height difference from like
Yeah,
D1 to D3.
yeah,
It's gotta be
yeah. Like
crazy.
the
It's like
the biggest
overall.
thing was like obviously height, length, like size, like Like if you look at a player, it's called the sniff test. Is like they're tall, they're lanky, they're athletic. Like that's all D1. The skill gap, like obviously they're going to be better basketball players, but like it's not like super night and day. Like where like they're just so much better than us. But like they can do the same things at the same rate or even better, but just being 6'11" and jumping out of the gym. It's just like when you have the intangibles and then put along some talent on them, yeah, it's pretty legit.
Yeah, yeah. Most D3 basketball players, a lot of them have the skill. They're just not very
Yeah, you
tall,
just don't have a tall. You're not dunking. Like, yeah, you're not super
Yeah,
quick. Like, yeah, that kid, that point guard, my freshman year, he was only like 5'11", but like, man, could he move? Like, he probably could dunk pretty easily at 5'10", 5'11". So like, that's
yeah.
just D1 basketball. It's ridiculous.
Did the athleticism just off the charts.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
What was the tallest guy in your team?
See, my buddy Caden, he's probably 6'9", maybe.
Okay.
So he wasn't there for freshman year. He probably would have played a little bit of junior year, but yeah, I mean that's probably the only one who matched up well. But at that time, like, so he's got to guard the tallest guy, but the second tallest guy is like 6'8". Like they have a center that's 6'10", then they got
Yeah.
a forward who's 6'8". Like it's just like it's tough. But
Right. Yeah. You look at the average height of D1 basketball, it's got to be about 6'5", 6'6" on
yeah, it's got to
average,
be mid sixes.
Yeah. It's it's
Yeah, it's crazy.
crazy. So let's talk about year 4 here. Actually, I want to back up to a couple more things in year 1.
Okay.
Beating Finlandia. I mean,
Yeah.
when Finlandia was around, this is the hometown team.
Yeah.
It had to feel good to beat the hometown team.
Yeah, it was great. Obviously, like we struggled a little bit. I know my freshman year, we to get some wins, and we knew that Finlandia one is one that you could probably win. And yeah, it was good. I remember they came in. We pretty scouted them pretty hard, just like we do with every team, because we took it serious. Like we weren't going to be like disrespecting them and like what they do, because they could easily beat us. Like my junior year, we lost to them. So like remember they came in, they probably had the best team they had since I've been, I guess, in 4 years. And we just played really well. I just remember that we got out to a lead and we kind of just finally like kept one and then kind of put it away. So
Yeah, put up over 100 points. I mean,
yeah,
good offensive production.
Yeah.
You had one other game your first year where you really trounced on a team, Oak Hills Christian, 127 to 46.
Yeah.
You remember that one?
I do. Yeah, they had like a team where like they didn't really have like players. Like it was like a kind of a thrown around team. Like say, like they didn't. I like they like ask kids to play. Basically, like send out an email like, "Hey, we're down, guys. Can you play?" I remember there was probably like a 30-year-old guy on their team, just grinding up and down the court, and they only had like 6 kids or 6 guys. Um, but yeah, it was interesting. It was
Yeah,
very
yeah.
interesting. But I just remember that they could barely put a team on the court, and I felt kind of bad. But
Yeah, right. At that one point, you're kind of feeling good for yourselves, putting up
yeah,
points, but you also feel bad. You're like, man, it must suck to be those guys.
yeah, I just like obviously like like you're getting a win. Like a win's a win either way. Like you can work on stuff. I can see different stuff and like win. Like we'll take a win no matter what. But like at the end of the day, it's really a win. I don't know. You'd rather get a
Yeah,
win against a good team than blow out a team like that.
right. Yeah, yeah. True competitors, you want to grind it out and go down to the
Yeah.
wire and win on that
Oh
final
yeah.
shot.
Yeah.
And
Those are the fun ones.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So year 4, your senior year, you guys got another win against Finlandia. So you went 2-1 against
Oh yeah.
Finlandia in your career.
Yeah.
So, you got the best of them when you were at home. They beat you when you were in
When I was in Hancock, yeah, that was tough.
yeah.
That was tough bounce.
That's probably the one you wanted to win out of
Yeah,
all of
yeah.
them.
I would have loved to have that one because a lot of my family was there. So and a
Yeah.
good couple of good friends too. So
Yeah. But you got 2 of them. So,
yeah.
you know.
Mm-hmm.
What about your final game, coming into that it had to be kind of just like a surreal moment, but also like
Yeah.
just crazy that the 4 years had passed
Yeah.
that
It
quickly.
just, flew by. All of a sudden we're in our last weekend and I was like, holy man. Yeah, going into that weekend, so like my senior year is really interesting. We played stout the first game and I played pretty well and then kind of like peaked there and kind of just like really wasn't shooting the ball very well. I mean, I felt like I wasn't playing bad, but just wasn't really shooting the ball well. And then I remember I went from starting to like barely playing 10 minutes a game, which I thought was really weird because I thought I was playing well, just really wasn't putting the ball in the basket enough. Yeah, and then like Chris, like it all happened around. So then we played the first game, then I kind of peaked off. Then Christmas, I kind of like was like, all right, man, this is the last push because after every Christmas break, like those 2 months that go, like we play January and then February almost every weekend, and it goes by super quick. So I was like, all right, man, I really only have 2 months of my career left. Like let's figure it out here. So I just remember like where I'd stay after practice more, go before, and just get up shots on the gun, or just go out more all in than I had in the last 4 years during the season. And I remember that I really still wasn't playing that well going into the last 2 weekends, and then going in that the second to last weekend, sat down with my coach and I was like, listen, like I want to play. Like what do I got to do to play? And we like kind of figured it out. We kind of talked. I can't really remember the reason why I wasn't playing, but we figured it out anyways. In the last 2 weekends, I was like, all right, if I get out there and I'm playing, like I'm going like this is it, like I can't leave anything out there. And I ended up playing pretty well the last 2 weekends, and especially the last weekend at home. That felt really really good because second to last weekend we were away, and then that Friday game I played pretty well in front of my parents, which was really nice to do. And then that next day, all the boys came and surprised me, like Justin, Sanny, Kevin, and Jack. And I remember warming up, and all of a sudden these guys just rolling in the gym. I was like, oh boy. And I ended up playing pretty well again, so that was pretty cool. But yeah, I kind of just went put my nose to the grindstone, and maybe was a little bit selfish. Not gonna lie, the last 2 weekends, but I ended up playing pretty well, so that was pretty sweet.
Yeah, you had a team high in points in your final game.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah, it
showed out
was.
for the boys.
Yeah, that was all for them, and they were a good luck charm, man. I told them I should have come maybe a couple more games in my career, and it would have been a little better. But yeah.
Yeah. So I read an article on you guys' website. It was a pretty nice
Hmm.
article about your teammates, what your coach had to say about you as a player, all the
Yeah.
respect that they had about you as a hard
Hmm.
worker and a teammate. That had to
Hmm.
feel pretty good to be kind of recognized that way by your teammates and your
Yeah.
coach.
Um, yeah, this going into that, I know like high school, like I always try to be a good teammate, but like at the end of the day, it was kind of just like Brad and I, and like we had some good players to help fill our team in high school. But like I kind of felt like I was a little bit too selfish in high school. So I knew going into college that I was going to be playing with a lot of players that are pretty good. And I knew that like being a good teammate goes a long way. Because I've played especially here, I guess. I've played with guys who don't want to be there and who are selfish, and I absolutely hated that. Was not a big fan of it, and I knew going into um, college, I was going to have to be more of a team guy, like team over me. So like put our goals first before I try to go and get mine. And I made a lot of great friends on the way. I don't know, it was just fun being around the boys, and I don't know. It just worked out. I guess I has a lot still pretty good friends with a lot of them. So
Yeah. You had a couple other Upers on the team. Were they guys that you were close with before? Or did you only become close with them at Northland?
at Northland, so Drew Lindbergh's from Nagani. I knew him coming in. Like we played Nagani, and Nagani's always been really good. Uh, but yeah, I knew we were gonna click right away. And then obviously Eli. I also knew Eli a little bit from because Brad was really kind of close with Eli, so I met Eli through Brad. And then I remember it was me, Brad, and Eli, and we were at Eli's house summer going into my senior year. And I remember Eli was like, "Oh, I kind of might go to the school in Northland," and I was like, "Oh, you're getting recruited by them?" He's like, "Oh yeah." I was like, "Well, maybe we can be roommates," and then we ended up being roommates for 4 years. And he's considered the guy one of my best friends. He was a great roommate, and feel like he's a little brother to me. So that was
Yeah.
really cool.
Yeah, that's
Um,
awesome.
and then so Drew got really. I actually live with Drew right now. Drew's still playing. Yeah, me and Drew are as close as ever, and I consider him one of my brothers. And then kid that's from Ashland, probably one of the better kids that I've played, but one of the better basketball players I've played with, Jordan Brennan. I think that kid's got to be my best friend. I mean, we're like this. It's crazy, but I like that was the best thing coming here because like if you look at a record, like we really weren't a really good team. Like we didn't really win many games, and like if you come to Ashland, like there's not really much going on. Like like it's just like you kind of got basketball and that's it. So like I became really good friends with these guys, and that helped a lot. And it's a huge reason. I guess looking back on it, like I made some really great relationships, and that was really cool to do. So.
Yeah. So
Mhm.
how'd you end up on the golf team? Like, was that just
That's an interesting. So their head coach now used to coach the golf team, and it's kind of like throw it around. Like the golf team there has always kind of been like they've always got a couple golfers, but then the rest they fill it with hockey players who play golf too. Um, so their coach knew that I played when he recruited me. He knew that I played golf in high school because he was assistant basketball coach now. He's a coach there. I get or was the golf coach at the time. And at the end of our season, he was like, "Hey, would you want to play golf next fall?" And I was like, maybe, you know. And there was like a club in his office, and he was like, "Oh, swing the club for me." And I took it back. He's like, "Oh yeah, yeah, you'd be a lot better than anyone, or a lot better than most people on the team right now." It's like, all right, yeah. You're just trying to get me to play. And anyways, so then we got sent home for COVID, and like so COVID like ran its course, and the summer came, and like it still COVID was still a pretty big thing, and literally the stuff you could do is outside stuff. And golf was one of those sports where you could play outside. So like I just remember me and Justin Oracle played so much golf that summer, like almost probably 5 days a week. We'd go out and play golf. So I played a lot of golf, and then that's where I just fell in love with it. I just loved playing, and then so I played that fall, and then played that next spring, and then played it through there. And I mean I really credit a lot to golf to like keeping me sane because like there was times in basketball where it really wasn't going, like we really weren't winning many games, and like you're kind of at the bottom of the totem pole, and like you're not really thinking highly of yourself. But also though, I then like, oh wow, I could go to a simulator and hit balls. Like it was just something that I could take my mind off of. And like the thing with golf is it's like it's a kind of an individual sport. So like I say I was on the team, but like you're playing your own ball in tournaments, and like you don't have people to like rely on, I guess. Like if you screw up, like you look in the mirror, like, yeah, I played bad today. It wasn't anybody else. It was me. And I really like that part too, because I played team sports my whole life, and having this individual sport was pretty sweet. And yeah, it was fun. It was fun playing golf. And I guess I'm still pretty much very well versed in the game. I mean, I'm doing a lot of stuff in golf, working in golf now. So like it's pretty cool. Pretty
yeah,
cool.
a path that you probably didn't think you were gonna go down
Yeah,
initially?
yeah, really pretty surprising. And I'm thankful for it because it's a pretty sweet game.
So has it been tough to adjust to life after college athletics?
Yes, I will say very. Especially like so Brad's still playing at Tech. He has another year
Mm-hmm.
after this one. My two like Jordan and Drew, who I mentioned earlier, they're still playing. Um, and then my girlfriend actually plays basketball at UW Superior. So like seeing them all play and like going to their games, it sucks. I always want to catch myself like, oh, I gotta go and shoot or I gotta go and work out, but like I don't have to anymore. Um, yeah, it's been tough a little bit to adjust. Um, I guess I'm coaching basketball, freshman girls basketball at Ashland High School now, which has helped. Um, just kind of help out and spread my knowledge a little bit, and which has helped coping with it. But yeah, it's actually been pretty tough. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, staying connected with the game in some
Yeah.
way.
Yeah, I knew that. I thought I wasn't gonna coach right away, and then then it all kind of hit that they were starting their seasons, and they were playing games. Like I gotta do something, man. I gotta get back into it. And job opened up, and so I got it. But it's good. It's been good to help with it.
Yeah. And I already mentioned the fact that like time's flown by, but can you believe we're halfway to our 10-year reunion? Pretty much like almost halfway. It's 4.5 years
Yeah, I
now,
mean,
but
I it's crazy. Like I just turned 23, and I'm like, dude, I feel like I was in high school like yesterday. I don't know.
yeah.
Like you said, like in 5 years we'll be all meeting up again, and I'll be like, wow, I don't know where the time went. It's crazy.
Yeah. It is crazy. It really is. So why don't we wrap it up with just a few more questions? Like, who was your
Hmm.
favorite athlete growing up?
Ooh, wow, it's a good question. Um, okay, so I played hockey up until 8th grade.
Right.
So my favorite athlete, probably would have been Patrick Kane. I met him before. I went to a Hawks game and was able to go in the locker room, get him sign me a hat or something. So that was pretty sweet. And I loved hockey at that point, so that was cool. Basketball player gotta be Michael Jordan. Um, I remember my basement. I had this little Tykes hoop, and I had my brother bought me an old Chicago Bulls like cursive Jordan jersey, and I had the Bulls practice shorts, and then like some and ones that were red and black, and I'd put on his highlights and then try to do the same dunks he would do. That was pretty sweet. Uh, so those two were pretty big growing up. So
Yeah.
mm.
That's funny. I'm trying to picture little George in a little
Yeah,
Tykes hoop
trying to
just
dunk from the free throw line and stripping and running into the wall. I've done that a couple of times. I remember.
Yeah. So what's your favorite non-basketball sport? Is it golf now?
Yeah, oh yeah, golf. I've always loved playing football too. Football is big. Every fall I miss strapping up the pads. But golf for sure. Golf is. I love the like all the swag that comes with it, like all the clubs and like different outfits guys wear. It's something about golf. I don't know. It's super addicting. If you play it once and you get into it, it's hard not to go and play the next day. And the big thing
Yeah.
about golf is like you could shoot close to par or a million over par and be at the golf course this next day trying to play again. I don't know. Something about golf, man. It's addicting.
Who's your favorite golfer?
Right now, obviously, growing up, like Tiger Woods was the man. I think he still is the man. Every time he plays, turn on the TV. Oh, Tiger's playing today or playing this weekend. But I really like Max Homa. Max Homa, he's good, especially in the Ryder Cup the last fall. He was pretty sweet and you're getting all hype and stuff. And I love that for golf, like the team golf and everyone getting rowdy and the fans are getting into it. I love that. So and Max Homa is like perfect for that environment. So it was sweet.
Yeah. Tiger, he's getting back into it. He wants to golf one major event a month here or something like that, is what
Yeah,
he said.
he's and he played so he played last weekend and didn't play terrible. And like he's like I'm nowhere near where I know I could be. And like that's kind of like wow, he's just so competitive and like I'm still impressed that he's playing golf still to this day with all his
Yeah.
injuries and everything that's gone on in his life. Like it's crazy that he's still here playing. I don't know. I'm just crazy. I just didn't think I think he'd be retired at this point, but like he's still trying to play. That's probably just because he's so competitive and still wants to play.
Yeah, he totally could have hung it up after the accident and just been like,
Oh
I'm
yeah.
done, you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah. Coming back from that, like it's tough because like he wanted to play and like he's kind of limping around out there and stuff. And it's like, I can't believe I can see Tiger like this, but like he doesn't care. Like he just playing golf. He just wants to just
Yeah.
be out there playing. So
He's got that competitive spirit. You can't tame
yeah,
it.
you can't. That's something that's you probably always have. So
Yeah. Why don't we end it with what's your fondest memory from your time at Northland?
fondest memory. Um, well, first I'll touch on two. One of them Just the biggest is like making the relationships that I have. Well, I probably wouldn't have stayed all 4 years if I didn't have Eli as a roommate. I didn't meet Jordan. If I didn't, and then if Drew didn't come, it'd be really tough to not have those guys and be here as well. Because, like I said, it's just a lot of basketball, and then other than that, you're hanging with your boys. So I had a lot of time with them and getting to know them, and like base a couple of my best friends. That's been sweet. And then the other one is my junior year. We played in Minnesota Morris, and like they were always kind of that bubble team where like we were kind of both kind of good, both kind of bad, like kind of in the middle, I guess. They were always maybe a little bit better than us, but like it was pretty competitive every time we played. And I remember I didn't really play that much that game. They went there in the second half, hit a couple of big threes, made a couple of had a couple of assists, and then we went to OT, and I just remember playing, and it was like 20, 15 seconds left. I can't remember, maybe under 10. And one of our players got a screen at the top, missed a three. And I'm kind of sitting there because I wasn't really a rebounder. Like I wasn't going in and trying to crash the boards. And I kind of sat there a little bit. Normally our coach will always want to either go to the boards or get back. And I kind of sat there. I was kind of mad. And then the ball literally rolled in my hands and nobody was on me. I was like, oh, I better shoot it. Shot it, went in, and then the bench was going crazy, and it was so sweet. They called a timeout, and we were up two, I think it was. We were down one, went up two, and then or maybe went up one. I can't remember what it was. We were winning by a little bit. They called a final play, and I remember being like under the basket and kind of in a help, and then there was a kid that was kind of open in front of me for a second, and they had him open. They threw the pass too late. I'm trying to remember now. They threw the pass too late, and I went in there, tipped it. It smoked me in the face, and the ball went up, and the buzzer sounded, and we all went nuts. It was something I'll remember for a really long time, especially hitting that shot because in high school I never really hit a game winner, and then finally hit one in college, so that was pretty sweet.
Yeah. Sounds like a
Mm-hmm.
special game.
Yeah, yeah, it was fun. It was wire to wire the whole game, and just made the shot, and we got the stop, and it was sweet.
Yeah, definitely.
Mm-hmm.
Well, George, thanks for coming on the podcast. Had a good time. Glad to get you on.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks for having me, man. It was fun to talk about this, and yeah, it was great.